Hey, party people. How are you? It's a little after 11 p.m. right now, and I'm not sleepy, so I got this piece of artwork I was working on, but I don't feel like working on it right now for multiple reasons that I don't want to get into right now. Maybe tomorrow. But right now, I'm awake. What should I do? I know. Story time. So, once upon a time in a land far, far away. Actually, like Italy, but that's far, right? In Italy. We were in Pisa, Italy. And we stayed in a castle that night. That was, I believe that was on the Seine River. I'm pretty sure. Don't hold me to it, but I believe that we were on the Seine. So, a castle is a former residence, and just like most residences, all the rooms are not alike. So, some people had very grand rooms, and other people had servant quarters. Well, my roommate and I, we were fortunate. We ended up with one of the grand rooms. It was huge and it was gorgeous, and it had these big French doors in Italy, and had the curtains that went from the top all the way to the bottom. So it led to the balcony. So we were like, let's open the doors and let the curtains just like billow in the wind. It looked like a commercial. It was gorgeous. We did that. After a while, we said, well, I said I'd go downstairs to, I guess, the lobby and get some water and come back. And she was like, okay, I'll go down there. And first thing I noticed when I walked out of the room, it was really dark. Apparently, it wasn't like over here. They have a shutdown time. It was dark, like everybody was gone to bed, everybody was gone. So, my dumb behind, I'm going to go down there anyway. And I did. I went down there, didn't see anybody. I turned around, come back, it was still dark. And all of a sudden, all these things that were so just nice during the day were really creepy at night. I.e., that suit of armor, very creepy. When I went back to try to find the room was when I noticed that, how, room 300 is usually next to room 301 or even 303. Okay, why is room 413 next to room 129? I can't find the room. And it's dark. And it's creepy. And I don't see any other people. And it's late. And I'm lost in a castle in Pisa. So I was starting to get really creeped out. So I decided, I know it's improper, but if I yell, my roommate might hear me and open one of these doors, because I didn't exactly remember what the room number was. I just knew it started with a 4. And so I yelled, and that creepy place started echoing, and no more yelling. That was worse than just being lost. You could film a horror movie in here. All of a sudden, I noticed I heard voices. I followed the voices, and I found a door, and it was cracked. And so I kind of just looked in. It wasn't my room, but I looked in, and I saw these two people, right? They were some kind of way connected to my room, even though the room right next door was not my room. I don't know how this worked, but I do remember when we got there earlier, they were standing on the balcony, and I knew their balcony connected with my balcony. We were on the 3rd floor. So I said I was going to go in there And I have no idea what my intention was. I think I was just so happy to see some people when they had the door open. So I just walked in there, and they froze and stared at me, and they were drinking wine. I remember they just like staring at me, holding their wine glasses. And I was trying to think of something to say that would make sense. And all that came out was, I need to use your balcony. And then I tried to sit there and think of something else to say. Nothing would come out, so I just said, look, I'm just going out there, okay? I'm going out on your balcony. And I went out there, and I had these 2 bottles of water. Oh, yeah, I did find the water downstairs, but there were no people. They did have it. So I had these 2 bottles of water. And I went out, and I'm like, there's the room, but like I say, on the outside, that door next to their door, that was not my room door. I don't know how this thing connected these balconies, but I do know that their balcony was right next door to my balcony on the 3rd floor. I'm not going back out in that hallway. I'm not going back out there. I'm not going back. So I tried to call for my roommate, and now when I left there, the doors were like open, because remember we had the doors open, the curtains billowing, looked like a commercial. The doors are closed now. So whatever. I throw the water over there to the other side where my balcony was, and I climbed over from their balcony to my balcony in the castle on the 3rd floor. I just kept saying, don't look down. Don't look down. So I made it and tried to open the door, and the door was locked, and I was really upset. I picked up the bottles of water, and I started banging on the door, and I was like, girl, open this door. Open the door. And she didn't open the door. And I started banging louder and yelling louder. And after about 5 minutes, what am I going to do? I'm not going back over there to that other. I'm not climbing back over this thing. Sooner or later, you run out of luck. I'm not climbing back over there. I kept banging on the door because I knew she was in there. Besides, if she was out in the hallway, I would have seen her. So after a while, she did open the door. She opened the door. She was standing there with some police people. This heifer thought somebody was trying to break in and called the lobby. I don't know how she found people. I was down there and couldn't find people. Called the lobby, and they called the police. And so they opened it. I don't know what to say. I'm just like standing there, like, why'd you lock the door? And she started telling me. So the police interrupted me, wanted to know who I was. I'm like, this is my room. What you doing on the balcony? I said, because I couldn't find the door. So I climbed over here, because that's the only way I can get over here. And she locked the door. And I thought about it, and I looked at her. I said, tell these people you know me. Because she's standing there. So finally she was like, well, yeah. I was mad. So the police go away. I show them, give him my identity. And he says, okay, he let me go in. We opened the balcony doors up again, making like a commercial, so we could sleep with the curtains billowing and the breeze coming in, because they would get us up at 5 in the morning to get on that bus. Okay, that freaking river is full of mosquitoes. We had so many mosquito bites. I had mosquito bites. I had one on my lip. It was so big. I was talking funny for 3 days. It was huge. I think Vera had one like on her eyebrow, on her eye was half swollen shut. Nobody knew what was wrong with us the next day. We looked really bad, like accident victims. Maybe next time I'll tell you about we went to Venice and these guys pinched my mom's butt, and her friend told her. She started whipping him with a purse. It was like a movie. Her friend told her, if you're gonna walk like that, you're gonna need to get a porch for that swing. Maybe I'll tell you about when my friend dressed like, put on the grass skirt and stuff in Hawaii, and a bunch of Japanese tourists thought she was Samoan and made me take pictures of them with her. I took about 40 pictures. I told her don't speak because she's from Tennessee. I said don't talk. But a lot of stories. That's enough for the night, though. You go to sleep. I'm still not sleepy yet. I'm going to figure out something else to do.